Mic check. Ooh, it works. How y'all doing?
So what you're saying is you're very dangerous if you don't have your Snickers bar.
If I don't have the Snickers, I'm the mercenary. And the mercenary does mercenary things. And that's taking stuff out, so.
Well, hopefully you get a nice little sponsorship deal out of it.
Hopefully, man. I mean, Snickers has a protein line. People don't even know about it. Put a nice young athlete behind it. Skittles got Marshawn Lynch. You know, a lot of big companies are branding themselves with fighters, or I would say just athletes in general. And I feel Snickers is right up my alley, dude. I put it in my weight cuts, to be honest. Like it took a lot out of me not to take a bite out of Snickers before the fight, but yeah, man. It's attaching yourself to your brand, a brand that fits you well, and I think Snickers fits me well. It's a nice thing because I'm not myself. You know, a lot of people, they just look at me and they're like, "Oh, AJ, you're so mad, you're so aggressive." It's not that. Like, really, I'm just in my own little zone. So it's like when I have that Snickers, you know, it puts a little smile on my face, and then I'm back to being AJ. I'm not the mercenary anymore.
So, I know the road to get here is a challenge, but every time you're in the cage, it doesn't seem like too much of a challenge.
I would say that's because that's just the preparation, man. I trust in my team. I trust in my dad, my coach, my family, my friends. They make sure, you know, they put a lot into me. I train with some of the best athletes in the world. Aaron Pico, Joey Davis, Lyle Watson, Brandon Halsey. Like our gym roster, Baby Slice, like our roster is so heavy, so thick. And the thing is, we're all young gunners in the sport, you know. We're all 20. I'm the youngest one, but actually Pico's the youngest. He's 2 years younger than me, or a year younger than me. But we're all just so young, you know. So us being young and grinding together, it keeps us on our toes, you know. It keeps us grinding. So that's why I call the cage my playpen. When I step in that cage, it's time to go in there and play, man. Like, the hard work's done. Guys are in the back all serious and mad. What are you doing that for, bro? Like, play some music, turn up, and have fun. You're about to go in there and like do work, you know. All the hard work's done. It's time to just enjoy it now.
AJ, just to follow up on taking stuff out, you mentioned the Snickers, obviously, but about a year ago, you came into our studio, MMA Junkie Radio, with your father, and you told us about actually taking stuff out and focusing on things behind the scenes. You didn't get too much into detail, but can you maybe expand on some of those things you changed and dialed in behind the scenes with your father?
I would say life. Life, you know. I don't know. I don't like to touch religion or anything just because of how beliefs are, but for me, God's always my number one. And with that, you know, I don't feel anything can step against us, you know. A lot of things, there's trials and tribulations of life, you know, emotions, family, pains, just everything, you know. For me, I use it as motivation. At the end of the day, when I step in that cage, I don't have a game plan. I really don't. I thought I was gonna come in here and bang out with him and maybe, all right, get him to want to bang and then take him down and submit him. But he came in. I was waiting. It was kind of like a cat and mouse game. So it's just kind of having a balance of things in life. You know, everything's cool within moderation. Having a control within yourself. You know.
13-0 now. 13 straight wins.
13.
Who's gonna challenge you in the Bellator featherweight division?
No one. No one. No one.
So if Rich Chow goes title shot next Bellator.
You could go back to my interviews, my first fight. Pitbull, I got a leash in a kennel waiting for you. That belt's bounced around through a lot of people. Strauss, Pitbull, Welch, Pat Curran, it's bounced around. When I get that belt, it's not bouncing around. It's not leaving. It's going to stay around my waist, and then I'm going to go up to 155s and do it again.
Obviously, I guess the elephant in the room, the two top guys right now, it seems, for Bellator as far as coming up, you and your training partner, Pico. How does that work in the training room? Because you guys are going for the same goal right now.
Iron sharpens iron. He's what, 4-1? 4-1. He'll be 5-1 after Corrales. 13-0, man. I would consider myself a vet, a pioneer at this point. You know, I have a fight IQ that it only comes with 20, 30 fights, and that's just the thing of me being in this sport for so long, and my dad coaching and being around all these great fighters my entire life. He's following right behind me, man. That fight will never happen. So when people ask, I honestly now I just end interviews when they ask it because it makes me mad, you know. That's like me asking you to go slap your dad in the face for 100 grand. You gonna do it? Fuck no. You know, that's like my brother, you know. I literally, we set for war. When I go in that cage, I'm trying to kill the man across from me. I'm trying to hurt him and inflict bodily harm, cut his face open. So he helps prepare me for that. I help him prepare for that. So iron sharpens iron, man, and me and him are like yin and yang. I know it's the fight everybody wants to see, but it never happened.
I'm not implying you guys
no, I know.
each other yet, but But is the move to 55, is that you just getting bigger, or is that more just for your brother?
Both. It's a mix of both. I have goals that I don't even know where my goals are, you know? I have short-term goals. My short-term goals are actually big long-term goals that some people couldn't fathom the thought of. Okay, he's crazy. I'm crazy, but so far the proof is in the pudding. I mean, dude, I was taking fights on 2-week main events, fights on 2-week notices, not even 2-week notices. I've trained for 2 weeks. But that's just growing, you know? That's me having emotional issues, having life issues, and this being my outlet. I want to go fight. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to just go fight. My dad's like, no, dude, you got a lot on the line. Dude, I'm going to fight. And that's just the fighter in me. That's why I'm called the mercenary, man. I signed that contract. I don't care if my hand's broke or not. I've taken fights with broken hands. People haven't known, but that's just me. I signed that dotted line. I show up to fight. I've never pulled out. Manuel Sanchez, Henry Crowley. I've scheduled to fight some top contenders in this weight class. What happened to these fights? I didn't pull out. So for me, I'm gonna just keep signing contracts, kicking ass, and taking names. I don't call anyone out. I don't say who I want to fight. If you don't have that belt, I don't want to fight you. You're irrelevant to me.
You've been talking to Scott. I mean, you look at 13 wins. I think a lot of people might shake their heads. Why hasn't the title shot happened? When you talk with him, why do you think there's a disconnect that the title shot hasn't came forth?
I don't know. It's a business, you know. It is a business at the end of the day. My dad put his entire life on hold. My dad's a first generation fighter. He's an independent fighter. He's never worked a day in his life. So we as a team, you know, as much individual as this sport is, it's a team sport as well. And this is how I take care of my family at the end of the day. So we got to sit down and talk real numbers, you know. Fighting it's just as much politics as it is entertainment, you know. So it's good and bad. It's like yin and yang. You got to weigh your goods out and weigh your bads out. At the end of the day, I've always said I'm going to be the Floyd Mayweather MMA. So when I say that, I'm not just planning on being 50-0. I plan on bringing a $100 million check to the table every time I fight, because that's what I feel I'm worth. And at 13-0, I mean, my style is different. Who walks out and tucks tails? Most people don't even know the etiquette of a tux tail. You're supposed to wear a bow tie with tux tail. People don't know things like this, you know. It's just I'm different. People say I'm weird, I'm this, I'm that. No, I'm different. Neither you're going to like me or you don't. And if you don't like me, you're probably just an asshole, because there's no reason to not like me. I'm a nice guy, you know? So, cool.
Almost a perfect night in the cage. When can we expect to see you again? You ready to go?
As soon as Bellator sends me another contract to sign, hopefully it's got Pitbull's name on it with a couple extra zeros. Cha-ching! So,
Thank you, AJ.
Thank you, guys.